Dark States has just received a new archetype, Direful Dolls. With the maximized support for revealers from set 1 of Divine Z, we're going to take a quick look at what this archetype's got for the future of Cardfight Vanguard Overdress. What is up, card fighters, and welcome back to the Prime Vanguard channel. Hope everything is going well for you. If you guys enjoy seeing content like this, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do not forget that notification bell so you're always up to date on my newest videos coming out. Now, Direful Dolls has been a series of cards that has been with us since the beginning of the game. Through Direful Doll Simone, as well as future support like Shamanad that became better for Barrel Magnus, they are now their own archetype. Divine Z is bringing in all this new Direful Doll stuff to make a deck out of it, and it's looking pretty solid. I'm going to take a look at the ride line, give my thoughts, opinions, and feelings on it, and just what I think about this deck based off of a first look before going in depth on what we can do for it in the future. Alright, with that being said, let's take a look at what we got. So, starting off with the ride line for Direful Dolls, we've got 3 new cards with the following. Direful Doll Tonia, which is just your typical Direful Doll starter. We have Direful Doll Selenella with the following ability. She states, auto, when this unit is rode upon by Direful Doll Griselda, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 cards with Direful Doll and their card names from among them, put them into your soul and shuffle your deck. Auto Rearguard Circle, when this unit attacks or boosts, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, you may have this unit get power plus 5,000 until the end of battle. If you did, at the end of that battle, bind this unit. Now, Selenella is an amazing set of cards. As we know, all Dark States deck do something revolving around the soul, so putting those Direful Doll pieces into the soul will set up for our ability of Android towards the end of it. Her second effect of getting power and binding her will be relevant later, so just keep that in the back of your mind. But I do like the fact that we have a grade 1 setup piece that is completely free and becomes a 13k booster later in the game. Now, taking a look at the grade 2 unit, we have Direful Doll Griselda with the following ability. Auto, when this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 with Direful Doll in its card name, call this card to Rearguard Circle. Auto, when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, if you have a Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, cost, put a card with Direful Doll and its card name from your hand into your soul, draw a card. Choose one of your Vanguards and that unit and this unit both get power plus 5,000 until the end of the turn. Griselda is pretty cool. We have yet another free card in our ride line. I love that. I think that ride line should be a free setup prior to your grade 3, and they shouldn't be too expensive unless it's something that's actually worth it for your ride line. Now, in this case, it looks like both Griselda and Selenella are going to do something to help set up for your soul. Griselda calls herself out and then will refund the soul as well as the card that you discarded for riding up to her, and she gives power to the Vanguard and herself, making her a magic number on your first grade 3 turn. Not bad whatsoever. You're getting all of this completely free. You get a free body on board as well, which is pretty tight, and because she's making herself to a 15k and your Vanguard is to 18k, like I said earlier, your numbers are good. So Griselda, automatic +1 right there. And finally, we can go ahead and get to the grade 3. Here we have the Direful Doll Master Angel with the following ability. Act, Vanguard Circle, cost, Counterblast 1. Choose a number of Workeroid with Direful Doll and their card names from your soul up to your opponent's Vanguard's grade and call them to Rearguard Circle. If you call 3 or more units, this unit gets drive +1 until the end of turn. Auto Vanguard Circle, when this unit is attacked, choose up to 1 Workeroid with Direful Doll and its card name from your bind zone and call it to the Guardian Circle. And it gets shield plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. My bad, until the end of that battle, but you guys get the gist. Now, first off, let's go ahead and address the elephant of the room. I think we all know who this is based off of. By the way, side note, let me know if that's a really good game. I don't have a PS5 yet, but when I do get that PS5, it's like one of the first games I want to play. Pinocchio is one of my favorite Disney movies because I like the moral of the story, but I'm kind of happy they brought this into existence with that. Now, taking a look at Android's effect. Android is a pretty simple Vanguard. It is like Lucia. You get essentially 3 bodies on board if your opponent's Vanguard is at grade 3, which will be the base grade of all of your normal games. And you get 3 Direful Dolls onto the board. You get +1 drive for 1 counterblast, which is pretty cool. And then you also have his defensive skill. Now, the defensive skill is interesting because it chooses things that are bound with Direful Doll's coding to move to the Guardian Circle, so it won't affect your soul. But that's why remembering what Selenella does when she ends up boosting, putting her in the bind zone means that you essentially have a 10k shield to use more than once when guarding. Now, before I continue to talk about Direful Doll Master Angel and go more in depth about that, there are still 3 more Direful Doll cards I need to cover, and I'll come back to this. So for this deck support, now that we're done with the ride line, we have 3 new units coming out, which are the following. Direful Doll Pelagia with the ability of auto rearguard circle. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, cost bind this unit. Choose up to 2 cards with Direful Doll in their card names from your drop zone and put them into your soul. Continuous Guardian Circle. If you have a Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, this unit gets shield plus 5,000. This unit's not so bad whatsoever. Pelagia essentially is a soul recycler for your Direful Doll units. She'll bind herself when she's done boosting, and which will turn her into shield later for Android, and then recycle 2 cards that Direful Doll in your name for your soul to reset for his ability going into next turn. For our grade 2 support card, we've got Direful Doll Providencia with the following ability. Auto, when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, this unit gets power plus 10,000 to the end of battle. Auto rearguard circle. At the end of the battle this unit attacked, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, cost Energy Blast 3 and bind this unit. Choose a Worker Roid with Direful Doll in its different card name from this card from your soul and call it to rearguard circle. Now Providencia is pretty tight. This is going to be our multi-attack card. She'll stack 10,000 power onto herself and then replace herself with another Direful Doll unit in our soul, and then we get to call that card out to rearguard circle to give us a 4th attack. Now the cool thing about this card that I automatically like is the fact that it's using energy instead of counter blast or a soul blast. I'm loving these new energy blast effects because energy is a recurring resource you get free every single turn. So those counter blast and soul blast abilities that you have for your other units that you want to hold on to, you're going to be able to do that with different cards. And now that energy is going to be a new resource that is free and reoccurring, you can expend that on cards that are more important in your deck building that are not able to attain with resources like counter blast or soul blast as easily as energy is. Providencia being an Energy Blast card, solid choice. Love that. Now for a grade 3 target, it is finally Direful Doll Liberata with the following ability of auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle or put on guardian circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, choose a card with Direful Doll in its card name from your drop and put it into your soul. Auto rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Direful Doll in its card name, you may have this unit get power plus 10,000 until the end of battle. If you did, at the end of that battle, bind this unit, cost counterblast 1, and draw a card. Now Liberata is another beat stick piece. This one is another recycler, but the cool thing about her is that she has her effect on rearguard / guardian circle, meaning that when you guard with Liberata with Android's ability, you get to recycle another Direful Doll into your soul, essentially giving you another piece to set up for those effects. So combined with her and Pelagia, you get the 3-card Direful Doll units back into your soul to reuse with your ability for Android on your next main phase to essentially get your 3 units back onto the board. Love that. That's pretty tight. On top of that, Liberata gets 10k power and can turn herself into a card draw for a counterblast. And because our deck does not seem to be CB heavy, I think the only counterblast effects we have is Android and Liberata. We'll be able to focus on using her to get card draw, Android to get the extra drive, and then combine both of their effects to keep resetting our soul so that we can use Android's effect, get +1 drive, Liberata for a 5k shield, and reset our soul. Pretty strong piece, I would say. Alright, now that we've seen all of the support for Direful Dolls, let's talk about battle strategy, what this deck wants to do. Now, this is essentially the deck's winning image. You want to take your Android and you want to take your grade 2 unit Providencia, and then you want to use her to get you on left and rear, 2 attacks, bind them, call out 2 units from the soul, and then swing again. Angel has triple drive, and assuming that we're going to be playing front triggers in this deck, which I think are going to be better because unlike Luquier, Angel does not give power to these units. You're going to give 2 units front trigger bonus, hopefully, and then swing more power to your front row. That's what it's looking like. And then on your opponent's turn, to make up for the card advantage issues that this deck may or may not have, because we don't know it's in the future support yet, you can use Android's ability to take the cards that have been bound from play, and then you get to use them defensively, and then use cards like Liberata and Pelagia to reset your soul to use Andrew's effect again prior to the turn before. So essentially what this deck does is you want to use your Direful Doll support pieces to reset your soul, guard with them after binding with them, and then use Android's effect to call them back out, use them defensively again, and then use your recycle effects to clear your board, and then just do that again. Editor's note, one thing I want to add here that I was reading about Android, that Guardian skill is not once per turn. So what that means is that if you needed to, like you were using effects to recycle and you're thinking about it going into next turn or the turn before, because you have to have the Direful Dolls in your drop zone prior to using like Pelagia and Liberata to set up, you can use those units in your bind zone to guard as many times as you want, and then put them into your drop zone that's set up for it the next turn if you already have the soul to do that with cards like Pelagia and Liberato. Quick editor's note, I just think that makes Android even better, because that means that you have access to a continuous defensive option on your opponent's turn. This is fantastic. This deck is already like a well-structured engine. No pun intended. This deck's ability to use its units into defensive abilities means that we're not going to be using our hand as much, so we can not worry about our card advantage, because Android's going to get us a triple drive, and we're going to get about, if we're playing correctly, maybe 2 to 3 units every single turn that will turn themselves into extra shield to block our opponent's attack with, that we can recycle with the other card effects we've been holding into our hand. I think Android's pretty awesome. Do I think it's better than Luquier? No. I think that Luquier is better in terms of raw power because she gives power to the units she calls out. But what makes Android good is the fact that Android gives you better card advantage because he has a triple drive, he has units that recycle themselves, and he gives 5k shield to all of his units. So therefore, if you have 2 to 3 cards that can turn themselves into 5k shield, 10k shield, and 15k shield, then you're in a pretty good position because that's 3 cards you get to save from your hand that you're not guarding with, besides like PGs and obviously higher numbers like on Persona Ride turns. But let me know what you guys think about Direful Dolls. I think that they're off to an awesome start. I can't wait to get my hands on these and actually build this. This is like one of the very few decks I'm actually like excited for from Divine Z, outside of like the start deck for Brant Gate and the start deck for Dark States. This is like one of the few decks I'm actually really excited for. Dark States have been looking pretty good. I'm a Magnolia main, but I don't know what it is, man. Like, they brought Nightmare Dolls into Dark States for Overdress, but they didn't make it overpowered. They incorporated the favorite mechanic of my Dontarian into this format, and I just love it. But I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. Let me know what you guys think about Direful Dolls in the comment section below, and also what you guys think it needs in the future. With that being said, I'll catch you later, card fighters. Peace.